Dr. Mills, and I'm a psychiatrist in California with my own private practice called Freedom Psychiatry, because mental health is freedom. My practice focuses on achieving mental wellness through medication, nutrition, and lifestyle changes. I will be posting videos regularly that answer common mental health questions. Today, we are talking about the fear that some people have about going to the psychiatrist.
Hi, Dr. Mills. Yes, I have a question here for you. I have really high highs where I don't sleep much for many days and really low lows when I can't even get out of bed. I believe I will be helped by a psychiatrist, but truthfully, I am so scared to see a psychiatrist. Can you help me?
Yes, I do believe that you would very much be helped by seeing a psychiatrist. But I also want to address about your concerns of being afraid of seeing a psychiatrist. There is a real reason why you feel afraid. It's because there is a huge stigma about mental illness in this country. The stigma is due to the history of this country. You see, in the past, we didn't really understand what the reason was for mental illness. Um, and in other cultures, they actually gave special roles to people who had mental health difficulties, such as seers and prophets. In some other cultures, while they were not seers or prophets, they still gave people with mental health difficulties significant roles in society in order to feel wanted and contributed. Well, unfortunately, in mainstream US culture, this is not how mental illness was viewed. Really, our country didn't view people with mental health difficulties in a good light in the past. Instead of giving them special roles, people had great fear of their emotions, behaviors, and really saw mental illness as a personal weakness. As such, people were locked away in facilities, and oftentimes it was for much longer than they really needed to be in an inpatient unit. Psychiatry as a field even was used to promote racist and misogynist agendas and inhumane treatment of people. As such, not only do people with mental illness have a great stigma, but so does the entire field of psychiatry. And then it doesn't help that the media portrays psychiatric treatment methods in a very poor light that's really most of the time not accurate. Fast forward to modern day, we now intellectually know so much more about mental illness and its causes. And we also intellectually know that it's not caused by personal weakness, but instead by genetics and environmental factors. Psychiatry has come a long way in how it treats others, and now it has more effective treatments available. Modern psychiatry, while not perfect, is not how psychiatry and the treatment of others are portrayed in certain movies, such as One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. But with all that said, even though intellectually we know one thing, culture and people's personal opinions are very slow to change. We still have the stigma for the field of psychiatry and the stigma for those with mental illnesses. Not to sound all doom and gloom, but I did want to reassure you that this was all based in history and that this isn't just something that you came up with. So thank you for asking that common question.
Thanks, Dr. Mills. I have seen that movie, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it is a very disturbing movie. I know things have changed, Dr. Mills, and there are psychiatrists such as yourself helping people, but I still feel nervous about talking with a psychiatrist.
Well, that's okay. Maybe I can help by letting you know what happens in an actual appointment when you make one to see the psychiatrist. So, first, you will either see a psychiatrist in a clinic, like an office, or by a Zoom type of platform on your computer, and it'll be a virtual visit. The first visit when you see a psychiatrist will be longer than the following visits. So it'll be between an hour to 90 minutes approximately. And the psychiatrist will listen to what's going on with you and ask you clarifying questions in order to better get to know you and how to assist you. After the assessment, the psychiatrist will present to you their diagnoses are, if any, and then their recommendations for treatment.
That makes me feel a little better, Dr. Knowles. But how do I actually get over my fear of talking with a psychiatrist?
That is a very good question. And this may sound silly, but my best advice to you about getting over your fear of going and seeing a psychiatrist is to actually just make an appointment and go see a psychiatrist. That sounds like a big leap. So let's break it down a little bit to give you some more advice about how to parse that out and do it step by step. First, when you're calling to make the appointment, if you have some nerves about that, there are some tips that might be helpful. So sometimes if you're feeling nervous on phone calls, before you make the call, you can write down some, like a loose script, let's say, and some talking points of things that you think you would say to make an appointment for a psychiatrist. So that if you get nervous, you can look down at your paper and you can say, oh, that's right, now I know what I'm going to say. Also, have your calendar out and ready to view so that you can make the appointment at a good time for you. Also, have your credit card ready in case the psychiatrist requires a credit card on file prior to making the appointment. If the phone makes you far too nervous, that is okay. Why don't you see if the psychiatrist has an online booking option like my website does? When it comes to preparing for your visit, here are some ideas that would be helpful. I would recommend making a list of questions that you want to ask your psychiatrist so you don't forget, because often when you get there, the nerves cause us to forget what we wanted to ask. If you have previous records about your physical or mental health, go ahead and ask the doctor whose office those records are from how you can transfer them to your psychiatrist so that they can read them prior to your appointment. As far as getting to the appointment, I know some people get very stressed with traffic and parking and then finding the location of the office. You don't want to get lost. If that's just too much stress for you, see if your psychiatrist offers virtual appointments, and then you can talk to them through either your cell phone or the computer, and you don't have to worry about leaving on time or any of that. So, when you finally get to the appointment, what I would recommend is taking a deep breath, relax, and remember, it's just a conversation. Even if you're feeling nervous still, that's okay. You can even tell your psychiatrist that you're talking to that you're feeling nervous, and they should help put you at ease. If you would like me to be your psychiatrist and help put you at ease, please go to my website at freedom-psychiatry.com, click on the book appointment button, and sign up for your free 15-minute consultation with me, Dr. Mills. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great week, and remember, mental health is freedom.